Welcome to Bropostles, Episode 1, the comedy advice show for Catholics who take their faith seriously but not themselves. I'm Ethan.
And I'm Patrick. This is such an exciting day.
The most exciting day.
We've been preparing for this for a long time, but our listeners
Months.
are getting whiplash.
Yes.
So the people who didn't listen to last week's episode are like, hold on, why is this new podcast going into my... Why am I getting a notification for a podcast I've never subscribed to before?
Why are there strange men in my RSS feed? Get them out of here.
This is either going to be great or this is going to be our worst listened to episode ever because people are going to be like, what is this?
We're going to blast it all over the airwaves. And I think we're safe. I think we're going to be fine.
You think we're good?
So last week we announced the rebrand, right? We're no longer The Crunch. We are now Bropostles. Sad, but it's the reality.
But true.
And since then, I've seen not one, not two, but maybe 3 articles talking about how many people are converting to Catholicism.
They say correlation is causation. So, I mean, maybe we've already succeeded in our mission.Maybe we've already made the whole world Catholic, I guess.
So what I'm trying to say is you're welcome, basically.
And sorry to all the people who thought that Catholicism was dead. It's not. It's back. Catholicism is back. I'm very pleased to announce this. I was talking about this with people on Twitter today and yesterday because a lot of, I think Catholic apologists for years have been on like the defense, like since the 90s, even 30 years ago. The idea was, oh, Catholicism is struggling and we gotta fight to prove that we're right. But I just think that's a defeatist attitude. We're a quarter of the U.S. population is Catholic. They might not be perfect, but I think we're winning. We're winning.
We're going to win. And the victory is already guaranteed. So there's no reason for us to play defense. We're on offense here at Bropostles.
Welcome to the Offensive Catholic Podcast.
Yes, in more ways than one. This is an advice show. We get a lot of questions about dating. We also get a lot of questions about theology, evangelization, human formation, anything that strikes your fancy. You can write an email to info@bropostles.com, and that's how you can submit a question. People also submit questions through our Discord. But new and wonderful things are happening. Mm-hmm. This is a completely new show, completely new structure. New people are going to be flooding in all the time. And if you want to join the movement, if you want to support the new endeavor, you can go to patreon.com/bropostles. Everything has migrated over there. For $10 a month, you get access to the bonus episode, and lots of other future things are coming down the pipeline for Patreon as well. So go to patreon.com/bropostles. And finally, before we get into our first question, I want to say thank you to Verso Jobs for sponsoring this episode of Bropostles.
I hope that our name change doesn't violate the contract.
I am not going to bring it up with them. I'm just going to keep talking about
I'm not going to tell them.
I'm not going to tell them. I'm going to keep billing them, and I'm going to keep talking about their service and hope that because they're a great company, right? I mean, they're doing wonderful things. Versojobs.com. They're the reason, we have the lights on at the moment. So
yeah, without Verso Jobs, it didn't work. My remote didn't work.
Yeah, that was
bad joke. All right.
It's already going well. Let's kick it off.
First question from Luce. How do I know if God wants me to be with someone? There's this girl I love. Uh-oh.
Whoa.
Already starting off strong. She asked me out. I asked God with a coin flip after taking some time. Hey, we've all done it. All done it. Okay, yeah. We've all flipped a coin about a woman, haven't we? Mm-hmm. Just me? All right.
Yep.
I did that in college. I couldn't reject her. I still haven't given an answer. Wait. Oh, God said no through the coin flip, I guess. But I just love her and I don't want to break her heart. What do I do?
Another coin flip?
Hey, man.
Just keep going till you get I mean, you just have probably a couple more times and you'll surely...
the coin flip, do not gamble with God. Come on, man. That's like borderline divinization,
I think, yeah, because back in the day, what were they doing? In the Old Testament, they would like throw sticks on the ground, and like how the sticks landed would be like, yes, we must settle west of the Euphrates instead of east.
Yeah, right. They did cast lots for the replacement for Judas, but I think that was a one-time deal.
Yeah. No, isn't that kind of funny that the apostles, so Jesus, right, rises from the dead, spoiler alert, rises from the dead, appears to everybody. Judas is gone. The apostles are like, hey, what if we all just played craps really quick to decide who's gonna come up next? I think that's a good idea for this guy. You go play some baccarat. That's an even 50-50 game. There's no house edge. Player or banker, and then you can decide that way. Way more exciting than a coin flip.
Easy. I think that the coin flip strategy for discernment is nice, I will say, but you have to use it right. The thing is, you have to convince yourself you're going to go with the result of the coin flip, and then when you get the result of the coin flip, you figure out what you really want. And it sounds to me like you really did want to go out with this girl, and you're disappointed with the results of the coin flip. Just go out with the girl.
This is a great point. I love this girl, so I decided to do a 50-50 chance of whether or not I would ask her out. Why? It doesn't make any sense at all. There's a huge cookie in front of me. I love cookies. There's no reason for me not to eat this cookie. You know what I'll do is make it so that I might not get to eat the cookie. That doesn't make any sense.
I'm very confused as to what the problem is.
There's no problem.
I don't understand.
I couldn't reject her. So she was asking him out. She loves him. She asked him. No, he loves her. She asked him out. He flipped a coin.
Dude. God said no, but I love her.
God said no. Why would you even let... I mean, I guess you probably should ask God, I guess, but why even bring it up?
You haven't given there might be an incredibly valid reason why God said confused. No. Like God, you might be like, oh, God through, I was sitting and discerning and I was thinking, well, technically we're cousins, so maybe it's a good idea.
True. That's true.
Maybe he
just
loves
doesn't
her
mention that this girl is his stepsister.
Like, oh, there's consanguinity, or there's consanguinity of you, like they live in the same house because they're step siblings. Yeah, maybe no. You might love her in a more filial sense, so that's or familial sense.
Maybe maybe he fell in love with an AI lady. Maybe these new models that OpenAI are coming out with.
Falling in love with a waifu. We did have that question.
I forgot about that. That was crazy.
We should bring back some of our best hits because we've been answering questions on this show for a long time. On the other show.
The first question he has is, how do I know if God wants me to be with someone? I don't know. Maybe if you love someone and then she asks you out, that's God letting you know that he wants you to be with someone.
That's so crazy. Again, I've said this so many times, but girls could literally be kissing you and you'd be like,
I don't know.
Guys will be like, I don't know, man.
That's so. She like leans in. You like put your hand up to her lips. You're like, hold on, let me get my lucky coin out.
He's Two-Face. He's like.
That's so funny.
Brothers approaching his relationship like Two-Face.
Heads I win, tails you lose.
One time I flipped a coin because I was like I was interested in two girls and I was like they're friends, so it's really
you
one
flipped a
one
coin.
shot.
To decide not to decide whether or not you ask out one girl. It was to decide between two women.
Yes. And the reasoning was, I was like
gambling with people's lives.
I was like, this is probably a one shot deal. And because if I ask one out, I'm not going to be able to go ask the other one out ever. So I flipped one. And I was like, in the result, I was like, know what? No, never mind. I wanted to go with the other one. It was helpful to make the decision, but then everyone found out about the coin flip. And then
why did you, the only way they could find out is if you told them. Unless you did it out in the public square.
I didn't do it in the public square. I did it with one of my, who I thought was my boy. I did it with someone but he was treacherous.
Yeah. Dastardly.
He engaged in treachery and he told everyone.
That's brutal. So that's the true benefit of the coin flip is do it in front of the homie. And then you get to decide whether or not he's actually the homie.
That was actually the test. I was joking. It was the test the whole time was to see if he was a homie. He was not a homie.
I'm trying to think if there's other things like, oh, my kid is screaming. He needs his diaper changed. Guess I'll flip a coin. Oh, got it. Time to go to work. Time to earn that money so my family can have a house. Guess I'll flip a coin.
We do have a coin flip in our house. See whose turn it is to change the diaper. Heads, it's me. Tails is my wife. It's a double tails coin. I
double
rigged
tails
the
coin.
game.
Nice.
Yeah.
She doesn't know about it.
Yeah, no. She's never seen the other side of the coin.
I think I wish all the best to this person. I hope you're doing okay. Let's put the coin aside for now. Let's just save the coin for something a bit more trivial.
Why do you even have a coin? What's it for? You can't purchase anything with that. They took away the 89-cent waters at Aldi. You can't buy them there anymore. They're like $1 now. I used to go and I used to get a sparkling water from Aldi right out of the fridge, 89 cents. The only thing in the world you can buy for 89 cents. It was a nice little treat. They don't have them. They don't have them in the fridge anymore. They have them lukewarm, room temperature on the shelf. It's not even worth it.
You really have a difficult life. Let's go to the next question.
I thought about putting one in the fridge while I'm shopping, so it's cold by the time I'm done.
That is funny. going to the convenience store and taking the warm items and putting them in the freezer so that they're cold by the time you're done.
Second question, anonymous question. This one's a long one. I remember that one time we put a question in ChatGPT. All right, that was the best time to do that. I got myself into a kind of awkward situation. I was wondering if the boys could help me out, the bros. So I accidentally asked 5 women on a date.
How many coins did you have? How could you possibly make all those decisions?
He was like, I saw an episode of Full House where DJ Tanner has 2 dates to the prom, and I said, I can top that.
I watched Full House and I have $1.25 in quarters, and I've got a free afternoon. Let's see what we can do.
I got 5 straight heads. Yeah. Let me back up.
Yeah.
Thank you. I met this pretty girl at Mass one Sunday at Newman Center. Found a random open seat, sat down with her. Let's call her Katrina because she's a category 5. All right. I saw her again a few days later. I made that joke. That wasn't him. I don't want to cast aspersion on this fella. I saw her again a few days later on campus on my way to class and said hi, but she just shyly nodded back and didn't say anything. Fast forward a few months later, she's been hanging out at my fraternity house with a few of her female friends. So I made up my mind to ask her on a date. I walked up to Katrina, waited for a lull in the conversation, and with her friend, looked her in the eyes and said, "Would you like to go to a movie with me?"
Nice.
I wasn't ready for her 4 friends to say yes at the same time.
Yo, did you ask the delightful children from down the lane to go to a movie with you?
This is the problem with it. He was like, no, I didn't mean Vosotros.
Yeah.
I meant the singular second person. That's what I get for not saying Katrina. Anyway, I was confused and I didn't know what to do, so I took them all to the movie.
Dude. Oh, help. I tried to take a girl to a movie. I ended up converting to Mormonism. I don't know what I'm in too deep. They just kept wanting to spend time with me, and now I have 5 wives. And we have a ranch in Utah, and my life's actually pretty great. I don't know why I'm writing in.
I met a very nice Mormon lady the other day. She's a very nice lady, and I was meeting with her. She does payment processing. She ran like a big payment processing business in Utah, and she's like, "Yeah, we moved out here for a simpler life." And we were at a meeting this morning, and she was there, and I was in my car, and I saw her get into like a bright blue Corvette, and I was like, "Payment processing, baby, should have gotten into that business."
A simpler life.
I wasn't ready for 4 friends to say yes. Anyway, I was really confused in the moment and didn't know what to do. So I took them all out to the movie.
What movie is actually really important? Imagine it's the Minecraft movie, and they're all just howling, chicken jockey.
Chicken jockey. I did make a point of sitting next to Katrina and paying attention really only to her. She told me after the movie it was too weird, and she didn't like it.
Dude,
and the movie was odd, too.
It's critical that you tell us what movie this is, because that's... I'm gonna go see if I can find it. Keep going.
Or wait, she thought the movie was too weird.
Yeah.
Not the date. Okay.
It's because it's crazy. You like take a girl out. You go like, let's take you and your 4 beautiful female friends at the fraternity. We're all gonna go see Mickey 17 together about Robert Pattinson getting cloned over and over again to accomplish a mission in space, directed by Bong Joon-ho. And it's like, why? Don't do that. Please don't tell me you took them to Mickey 17. Please.
I thought it was odd too. It might have been a mistake on my part. A few of my buddies liked it. As far as she's concerned, I whiffed it. I think she's really nice and I want to keep seeing her. But bros, am I cooked?
Yes.
What
were you thinking? There's so many mistakes that you made. Let's go through the game tape.
So many opportunities to correct.
To not screw this up so bad.
You could have said afterwards, like, you could have hey, you could have called her, cell phones, and said, hey, really silly. I was asking you specifically. We could still all go to a movie, but I'd like to see you one-on-one. And then you go to the movie and it's kind of goofy. You're like, that was really weird, right? Like, I'm excited for our date. You know, you could have done it like that. I don't think he's cooked. You're not cooked until she's married. All right.
Yeah.
I think you could still save it.
All I knew is that a few of my buddies really liked it. So you took advice from your fraternity brothers on a movie to take. You took five
women too.
There's actually probably only 5 movies ever that have been made that would be appropriate for this situation.
Where a bunch of fraternity guys liked it, and he's going to take 5 girls to go see it.
No, I just mean if you are a guy and you're taking 5 girls out on a date to go see a movie, that you can see The Notebook,
The Time Traveler's Wife.
The Time Traveler's Wife. You can watch what's the one with Ryan Gosling and Steve Carell? And Emma Stone. It's not. It's
a good movie. It's not. Yeah. It's not. She's just not that into you. It's
Dang.
It's a classic. Isn't it? Is it a Shakespearean adaptation?
Probably. The Big Short. No, hold on.
No.
Crazy Stupid Love.
Yeah.
Crazy Stupid Love, Shrek, and The Princess Diaries. Those are the 5 movies that you can reasonably get away watching with a group of 5 girls that accidentally you asked out on a date. You cannot take them to see anything outside of this narrow band of cinema. Yeah. You cannot watch Goodfellas. You cannot watch Ocean's 11. As much as it pains me to say. It's just so that's just lack of ball knowledge at that point, honestly.
Unfortunately,
this hits me hard as a cinemaphile, it really upsets me. Why didn't you? Why?
Madagascar 3?
That's a good one.
You could have seen Madagascar 3.
Yeah.
We went to go see Madagascar 3 with me and my youth group friends. We would, all of us, we went to go see it with like co-ed group, Madagascar 3 co-ed group. And we walk in and the theater is completely empty except for this couple in the very back row.
Yeah.
And by the time the movie started, they had left.
Oof.
Yeah. That's and we were all laughing because we were like, they thought the theater was going to be empty.
They thought they were going to get freaky in the back of Madagascar 3.
Yeah.
And a bunch of youth showed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should have just called her. Fast forward a few months later. I don't really understand what's going on. Are you like friends with this girl? You met her one time at Mass. You were late to Mass and you sat next to her and you got her name, but you didn't really have an interaction with her at Mass. And then you saw her months later. She's hanging out at your fraternity. So I assume you like know her. Was this the only situation you had to ask her out? Was surrounded by 4
I don't want to knock this guy for asking her out.
No, it's good. It's good to be brave.
That took a lot of balls.
Yeah,
you didn't
pick your spot.
Failure of the last mile there.
Yeah, it's like Denzel Valentine pulling up for 3 in transition. Mm-hmm. It's not the right move. It's maybe a good shot, but it's not the right time. And then you airballed. Sure. I don't know, man. I don't know. You're not cooked. You just have. There's going to be some serious legwork you're going to have to do to fix this.
You're not cooked, but it's a little crispy. It's a little crispy.
Well, what can you do to fix this? I have an idea.
You have to tell her you didn't. You have to tell her you didn't mean to ask everybody out. Like, hey, this is kind of awkward. I should have told you this a long time ago. But I was asking you, not you, on a date.
I think there's a strategy he can employ, because what do women love more than anything? They love it when someone brings them food. And so if you are able to get some food and bring it to her, whatever the popular thing is in your town, Cane's or Chick-fil-A or, whatever it is that people love.
Some kind of chicken establishment.
This chicken establishment is a guaranteed win for the woman's heart. Get her the lemonade, and bring it to her and just say, hey, I just wanted to drop this off. I wanted to apologize. I really wanted to take you out. Then you use your line. Like, I want to take you out. Is that something you'd be interested in without your the other 4 children?
And then if she says no, you take the food back and you go.
No, you leave the food. It's chivalry. You leave the food. You say, hey, yeah. Or
this was contingent on.
Yeah. That's tough. That's tough. That's really funny though.
That is really funny. Speaking of the bag, fumbling the bag, do you want to stop fumbling the bag and find a good job?
And now a word from our sponsor.
Ethan, you've been fired a lot, right?
I mean, I guess you could start the ad that way. Yeah, sure. That's fine. Oh, Ethan, you're a complete failure multiple times.
You've been on the job hunt multiple times recently. How
you could say that I know my way around the unemployment websites for the government.
And for the average person who's looking for a job, what is the unemployment websites and job boards like?
It is harsh and cold. It's a bus stop that doesn't have any buses coming to it, and you're just waiting. And there is a crackhead in the corner, and you don't make eye contact.
And you're just flipping through, you're just scrolling through this list of jobs, and all of them are like, you know, remote sales jobs. And you're just like, what's going on? What do I do? And even if you find the perfect job description, you have no idea if the company is actually worth staying at. You go and you show up and you're there for 6 months and you hate it, but you can't leave. And you stay there for a year, you waste a year of your life and all that stuff. What if there was a way for you to be matched with a company based on company culture and your personality and your career fit? What if there was a way, if only someone would figure out how to do this? Ethan.
That's where VersoJobs comes in. VersoJobs.com. VersoJobs is the newest innovation in job searching history. They actually take companies, they onboard them. There's like a whole process for a company to be vetted. They go through this whole system to make sure that when they're looking for employees, that they know exactly what they're looking for, so that there's no time wasted on your end or on their end. Better for the companies, better for you. They've gamified it. They've made it so that you take little quizzes and you play little games that test your skills, test your knowledge, test your fit for companies, not just their roles and responsibilities, but for the culture, for the mission of the organization. Bypasses all of the 45 job applications you have to do in a day, and all the screenings and the resumes and retyping your resume all of that is bypassed with VersoJobs. VersoJobs.com. It's the greatest place to go. And if you feel sad, and if you feel alone, and you feel unemployed, like I have many, many times, solve it.
I've had that.
Yeah. Well, it's really more of an Ethan problem. You go to VersoJobs.com. And they'll set you up right. Thank you to VersoJobs for sponsoring this episode of Bropostles. Patrick, where should they go?
VersoJobs.com. From a patron. By the way, if you're a patron, we answer your question more
guaranteed.
Guaranteed question answer. And also, if you open with I went on a date with 5 women, that's also a
guarantee. Any type of wacky scenario, guaranteed.
If you get into a situation or a predicament, that's what we want to hear. All right, genuine question. Why would a guy tell me he's not interested in dating right now instead of why would a guy tell me he's not dating right now instead of just saying he's not interested or feeling the connection or whatever? I believe him, but my friends say no, he's not interested enough and he just won't say it. I'm 27, he's 33. Context.
Whoa, that's problematic.
That's not that bad.
I'm just being.
Just don't tell Twitter.
Yeah.
Context. Went on a date. He introduced me to a couple of friends. We all hung out twice. So now we have a couple of mutuals. I wasn't introduced as a girl he was dating, just as a new friend. We went on another date that I kind of initiated, but he said it was a date. And he told me he was super worried about work and undecided about moving away for school. 2 weeks later, he's distant due to work. We were on a hike with a friend who did not know we had been on those couple of dates. And he said, I'm not dating right now while I figure life out.
Oh.
Just in front of you? Holy cow.
Oh, dude. He might as well have just pushed you over the edge of the cliff that you were on.
She says, I figured that included me, but I wasn't positive. No.
Dude.
He basically disappeared. I don't know. I know he hasn't seen the couple of mutuals either. I've reached out a couple times just as a friend and found out he lost his job a couple weeks after the hike and has been struggling. That sucks.
That does suck.
There was a moment I jumped the gun and misinterpreted a message, so I recently clarified again and said, the signals I'm getting say I'm too young and not quite your type, but you like me as a friend. I want to respect where you're at, but I'm tired of being confused. And he said, I thought I was transparent about not dating right now, and he put a little like...
the pouty emoji.
Little pouty emoji, like a little, I thought I was being transparent. Brother, you're 33 years old.
Yeah, you can't be using emojis when you're 33.
You can't be texting. I know she's 27, but you can't be texting like you're 27. All right.
Yeah.
So I explained how I got confused. Now that I'm 28, I'm so much more mature than a 27-year-old. So I explained how I got confused and said I just needed the clarity and moved on. So who knows what will happen in the future. I know his communication is bad, and I'm not waiting for him, but he didn't say he isn't interested, and I do still like him a lot. Sad face.
Oh, K-Dub, he did say he isn't interested. You were out in public with him, and someone asked him about his dating life, and him knowing that you were there and having gone on dates with you and having not previously DTR'd the relationship said, I'm not really dating right now. That's, first of all, that sucks. That sucks for him to do that.
I agree. He should.
He deserved to lose his job.
Ooh. Hey, he's not supporting anybody. He deserved it.
He deserved it.
Yeah, that's, by the way, that's not cool. Like to do that in front of a girl you've been on dates with and just say, I'm not really dating right now.
That's crazy. I just can't imagine how, maybe he could be dumb. That's always a possibility. But that just feels like cruel almost to like not have I clarified the relationship with the girl before.
Yeah.
Oh, he should have. You didn't do anything wrong here, K-Dub. You, as a patron of Bropostles, have not done anything wrong and can never do anything wrong.
As a patron, by the way, $10 a month, and you can never do anything wrong again.
$10 a month, you'll never do anything wrong, and I will leave you voice memos encouraging you if you want. I can be very inspirational. He should have said after the couple of dates, you know what? I got a lot going on in my life. I've appreciated hanging out with you. I don't see this going any further. That's what he should have done. You tried to clarify, and he's, I thought I was transparent about not dating right now. To me, he's not interested in you. I mean, if he wasn't, a guy could be literally bleeding out in the snow, in the freshly fallen snow, about to pass away.
On the cathedral steps.
On the cathedral steps. And if a girl that he likes walks up and was like, hey, are you interested in me? He'd be like, yes.
Yeah.
Like, I want to date you. He could be seconds away from meeting his maker, and he would be like, yeah, I'm interested.
Yeah, I'll go on a date with you.
Yeah, no, I'll go on a date with you. You take me to the hospital, please.
Can the date be to the hospital? Yeah,
because that's how guys feel. So you can't, the moving thing and the school thing and the job thing, all of that feels like a reason why it's just, he likes me, but it's just not right yet. None of those things are actual impediments for men who really do like you, which is really hard to hear, unfortunately.
That is unfortunate.
I'm sorry you had to hear it from us. You got to move on. There's other men in the sea who will not do you like that on a hike. First of all, why are you going on hikes? Why are you going on premarital hikes?
Come on, it's fine to go. You can go on a hike, a co-ed hike in the woods.
Fair.
Nothing more romantic than getting in the woods, getting lost. There was this couple
starving to death.
There was this couple at I got me and my now wife got into hiking when we were in college, and I was like pretty, I was like, I researched how to do it and like, the proper things to do and all this stuff. And, how do you walk?
How to walk outside.
How to walk outside. And all like the good because there's some pretty good trails in the Ohio Valley, and they're all at mountains and stuff. And so you need like, you can't just, some of these you need boots. You need good boots, Yeah,
you got boots. You need some walking sticks, methamphetamine, all the things you need to make it through the Ohio Valley.
And but the thing was, a lot of our classmates, they would go on hikes in like Chacos. Do you remember Chacos?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you still have your Chacos? You were a Focus missionary.
I did have a pair of Chacos, but they were one size too big because they were handed down to me from a different Focus missionary, and I didn't want to buy any, and so I would wear them, but they hurt my feet so bad. Yeah. And
he left mission work and was like, I don't need these anymore.
I don't need these anymore.
Time for them to move on.
I've realized that these make me look ridiculous as a male.
They do look ridiculous, but I had friends in college who would hike in Chacos, and I was like, you guys are gonna it's a stray stick is gonna just injure your foot for no reason. It's just silly. Anyway, so as long as you're not hiking in Chacos, that's fine. The habit of a Catholic missionary is an Apple Watch and Chacos.
Don't make fun of it. Focus is a wonderful organization with lots of beautiful, wonderful people.
I didn't say Focus.
Serving
I said Catholic.
Serving the Lord. That's true.
Every under 30 missionary, it's the starter pack for an under 30 missionary in the Catholic Church is an Apple Watch, Chacos, and a text that says, "Hey, you want to catch up soon?"
Don't be. We need to be strong together. Apes together strong, right?
Yeah.
And you can't divide us.
A missed call from someone I haven't talked to since college. I wonder what that could be about. Listen, I have supported people off of those calls. Not being a jerk bag. Support your local focused missionary. All right. Y'all, I have a dilemma. Fourth question. From Pedals. I have a dilemma. This guy in my young adult group asked me on a coffee date in December, and I said no. He messaged me again last month. So March, 3 months later. You're on his 3-month follow-up workflow. I said no. He messaged me again last month asking me to coffee as friends, and I said yes.
No.
Pedals.
No.
Mistake.
Why would you do that? This is why we do this show, is because there's so much fundamental education that needs to happen.
For real, some of you people don't know how to date. It's so sad.
This is so much could be avoided if you just knew the common pitfalls and the common traps that people fall into. Gosh, if only there's like a course that went through it all in systematic order. That was designed and released.
We should get rid of the evangelization course and just move on to dating. We need to teach these people how to friggin' date. Oh man,
what if it was both? I don't know.
What if we did both?
What if we did both?
What if we did both?
Made it like a deal.
It'd be so funny because a lot of the dating courses out there are one of two things. It's either like
how to get laid tonight.
Yeah. Or it's like the shiniest teethed blonde couple you've ever seen in your life. Like
how to share your heart with someone.
Praying your way to a holier marriage. Yeah. Like
it's like there's nothing in between where it's like, here's all the things that you're doing that is absolutely unnecessarily elongating the amount of time that you're single, because you're wasting your time with guys going on coffee dates as friends, even though he leaves his fedora at the door. Anyway, not that there's anything wrong with dating a fedora guy, but you just have to be aware of these gentlemen that worm their way in.
You know?
Yeah. Let's keep reading the question. Maybe she turns it around.
Thinking maybe he just needed to talk to someone or needed help or something. I don't know.
You preyed on your feminine empathy. No. Oh, no.
There's so many folk tales about why you shouldn't have empathy. Like, if only
there were some stories about young impressionable women getting kidnapped or thwarted by ne'er-do-wells that we could rely upon. There's thousands.
But we sort of got to know each other, and he basically forced me to share his pastry. He asked me to hang out again.
Is that a euphemism?
I hope not. He asked me to hang out again, so we went on a walk, and now we went on a walk just now where he again got me a pastry and spilled some deep stuff.
Coffee?
No, he's doing the emotional. He's trying to pair bond with you by
trauma dumping with sugar and and life events.
This is a thing that guys do, that fellas do, because they secretly understand women.
This is crazy manipulative. Yeah.
It's not. It's like it's manipulative, but it's also it's all he wants. He's getting his reward. You know, he just wants to. He wants to emotionally, relate to somebody. Anyway,
dude, honestly, if I'm a girl, it's like, you can buy me as many pastries as you want. Like, I will hang out with you.
But he's forcing her to share. He's buying himself a pastry. He's like, you want some of my Danish?
Should we share a fork? He's like,
if only there were folktales about accepting sweets from people who don't have your best interest in mind. Are you going into his candy house too?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Oh look, he has a giant cauldron bubbling in the corner. Surely that can't. There's nothing that could be going awry here.
And at the end, he said, "Do you want to hang out again?" And I'm just like, "Sure," because I don't want to be rude. But unfortunately,
I really like pastries.
Unfortunately, I have no interest in dating this man. What do you mean, unfortunately? Unfortunately for whom? Are you saying unfortunately for you? Like, you feel bad for not liking this guy? Do not get trapped in this relationship. You're gonna. This is crazy. You're gonna meme your way into unhappiness. Maybe it's not what he's trying to do, but these times where we hang out feel like dates. So is it kinder for me to pretend I have no idea that he's trying to go on dates with me? until he actually says something, or assume he's not trying, or assume he is trying to date me and let him know I'm not interested. For reference, I'm 25, he's 31.
Oh, man.
By the time you're 30 years old, you should not need to talk to a 25-year-old about your problems to feel better about yourself. That's
I'm just
a
really
problem.
struggling. I'm just really I know you just graduated with your degree in business, but like I'm really struggling with my relationship with my dad. And I also, my knees pop when I stand up. Like, what is going on?
I'm just still processing 9/11.
Yeah.
I know you weren't there.
I really think LeBron is the GOAT. Like, this is crazy.
I lost my favorite Funko Pop, and I just don't know where it went.
There's this mean guy on X who tells me that building Legos doesn't count as leisure.
As a hobby.
As a hobby. He keeps telling me I have to do something real, like listen to music or...
My favorite orderly at the nursing home retired, and now I'm...
It's funny.
Oh, man. Anyway, yeah, stop talking to this guy.
This is crazy. 31 years old. I don't like this at all. I'm really not a fan of this gentleman.
You need to stop hanging out with this dude.
He is whether he knows it or not, and whether you feel like it or not, he is preying upon your feminine wiles to get something that he wants. He knows that you are kind. He knows that you're nice. He knows that you have a faith background. You guys are both in this young adult group. You guys maybe have prayed together. You've gone to mass together. So he knows that you are a good person, and he's using that against you so that he can feel better. Like you said, feel better about himself.
Again, whether he knows it or not, fellas, it doesn't matter. It genuinely doesn't matter. I will say 3 months is too long of a time. It's fine to ask a girl out again 3 months later, but you should, if you find yourself over the course of 3 months, you ask a girl out, and then 3 months later she's still the only girl you want to go out with. You ask her out again, you still haven't asked anybody else out. You may have an unhealthy attachment to this person. Yeah. There's no need for you to spend any more time thinking about this girl. She's not interested in you, and the hard part is it's not her fault that she's not interested in you. It doesn't say anything about women these days. They only like bad boys. They don't like a nice guy like me. It doesn't. That's not what it means. Yeah. She's just not that into you. Like the Steve Carell and Ryan Gosling movie says.
Yes. He's trying to soft launch a relationship, which is crazy.
Your relationship's in beta testing.
Yeah. Which he asked you out, you said no, and he's like, what if we hung out as friends? Like he's trying to backdoor his way.
Yeah.
Maybe, how about this? What if you match his freak? What if you hang out with him? What if you're like, go get some type of disgusting food. Go to an Indian restaurant and be like, hey, do you want to share?
It is bad. It's not good.
Do you want to share with me? You want to share? Hey, why don't we share? And then start telling him just the craziest stuff from your life.
Just ridiculous.
Like, not even anything emotionally important, but just like the wildest things that have happened to you. Gross him out. Make him feel...
One time I pooped my pants at a Busch Gardens.
Yeah. Yes. All the times that you've soiled yourself, and just talk about it and be like, wow, this, I don't even know what Indian food, this curry is really brown, you know, just match his freak and see if he could lean in, and that would be not what you want. Right. But then he might be repulsed. He might be repulsed by you. And then the problem solves itself.
You got to
Have you considered this?
As quick as you can.
Could you be stinky the next time you hang out?
Just don't wash yourself for like 3 days. It might
only do that already. So I think
that's a good point. Never mind. I'm not.
Yeah. Just wait a couple extra days to take your everything shower.
I can't. I saw that.
What's wrong, man? It's going
to take them like 8 years to wash their hair, and so like hair takes so long, you know?
Yeah. could you pretend to convert to another religion?
To another religion briefly?
Sorry, I really started going to this other church's young adult group. It's really cool. They've got like coffee.
If he's super trad, maybe hold his hand during the Our Father.
Oh, if he's super trad, there's so much you can do. Be like, I really like the new Bishop of Detroit.
On this podcast.
He's
I'm
great.
referencing something that just happened in real life with a friend. I was going to turn this into a question and answer it as a question.
Sure. Yeah. Let's go into it.
A friend of mine last week, I was talking to him about like a buddy of his. He's like super trad, and he really liked this girl, and they went to mass together. And she held his hand during the Our Father, and he was like, "I don't like her anymore."
That's insane.
That was really funny. But yeah, so hold his hand during the Our Father, and he'll stop liking him.
So the question at the end is it kinder for me to pretend I have no idea, or should I just assume he's trying to date me and let him know I'm not interested? If you know what he's trying to do, pretending is not good ever in a relationship.
Yeah,
even if it's a friendship, you just shouldn't pretend in any of your relationships. So I would just go to him and be like, listen, I know you asked me out. I know you've enjoyed spending time with me. I appreciate the pastries. If you want to keep the pastries coming, that's fine. Here's my address. If you show up without a pastry, I will call the police. But I really don't want to date you. Like, I'm really not interested in dating you. I'm also not interested in continuing to hang out just as friends, because to me, it feels like boundaries are being crossed. And then he's going to whine and he's going to complain. Oh no, I thought, he might call you the B word, depending on how bad of a guy he actually is.
Depending on how deep off the nice guy he is. Yeah.
Yes. So you need to be prepared for some pushback with that, but that's the only way. Is you just got to say, I get it. I'm happy to see you around at the young adult groups, but I don't feel comfortable hanging out with you one-on-one anymore. And he'll try, but what about this? But what about that? You just have to ignore all of that, because it doesn't matter. You got to say no. He's going to try to guilt you. He has already figured out a way to make you do what he wants. So he's going to try to do it again. So you need to be aware that he's going to try to get you to change your mind. You can't let that happen. You got to stick strong, sister.
There's really no reason for you to go on a one-on-one excursion with a guy if you're a girl. With a member of the opposite sex you have no intention of dating. There's really no reason.
Unless it's a business meeting.
Yeah.
She sells payment processors.
This is a group meeting.
Okay.
But yeah,
she was Mormon, so that makes sense.
Yeah, fair enough. I don't think it goes that way. I think.
Yeah, I don't know. Brother husbands.
But brother husbands, dude. I'm hanging out with the boys all day.
Dude, sounds the great. Boys. Oh, never mind. I'll tell you this in the bonus podcast. I got something funny about the boys.
But like, there's really like, if you're there's like going on a date-esque thing with a person you have no intention of dating is silly. Being like, oh, can we go to coffee as friends? Why?
That doesn't exist. That's a date.
Why?
There's no such thing as, unless he's gay, you can have a gay best friend. That's fine. But like, you're going out with a straight heterosexual male, and you're a single heterosexual female, and you're alone together out in public doing activities. That's dating. That's what dating is. So regardless of what you call it, it's like you're going on dates.
Yes.
And
you don't want to be. Yeah, that's a better way to put it. There's no reason to go on dates with someone you don't want to date.
Yes.
Regardless of what you call it. And so if you're doing this with this guy, he thinks it's a date. Certainly. He's never going to tell you that because he's lying to you.
He's being strategic.
You're 25. We've all seen that video that went viral a couple of days ago where the girl's like, if I want to have kids by the time I'm 30, I have, XYZ. I have a limited amount of time. You have more time than that because, you're not going to wait for, you're not going to wait 5 years after you're married to have a kid for no reason. But the thing is, like, everyone has limited time. You have limited free time. Time is short. And so you're wasting your time giving this guy charity dates when you could be going on dates with guys you actually like.
Yeah.
Or
just doing literally anything else.
Or doing literally anything else. You could go on dates with guys you actually like. You could read a book. You could soil yourself at Busch Gardens. You could do anything.
You could become a patron of this podcast.
You could become a patron of this podcast. Isn't she already?
I don't know if this person might be, actually.
Now you legally have to become one because we think you are.
I know, because we thought you
could
were.
be doing anything else. Why waste your time doing this? That is my opinion. My correct opinion.
Yep. Patrick, should we do one more?
Yes, we should do one more question. Did you put it in?
Let's do it. Yes.
All right. Question. On behalf of a dear friend. Okay, so this is from someone on behalf of someone else. This friend has been dating a very nice man for 6 months. He's 27-year-old grad student. She's 22, fresh out of college. He adores her. All of her friends and family love him. He seems like a real catch. Her one qualm is that
he's a serial killer.
He feels kind of walled off, and he's not particularly emotive.
Dexter Morgan.
What?
It is him. It's the whole plot of Dexter is that he's a serial killer, and he's emotionally, he's withdrawn. Your sister's friend's brother is dating Dexter Morgan.
Okay.
How exciting.
I never saw that show, so I
it doesn't matter. You'd like it.
I personally feel he could marry this man. She could marry this man and be very happy, but she's having serious hesitation because she feels like she doesn't see his heart as much as she would like to. She has communicated this to him, and it's gotten better, but I still think it drives her crazy when she feels like she has to poke and prompt emotions or reactions from him. He's also like a Wendell Berry anti-tech kind of guy, so he does some deep thinking about the world, and he's an engineer, so I think that might just be an engineer thing. Edited. That's Ben's editorial, I think.
No, it's the direct text from the Discord message.
Okay.
Yeah, because they say edited at the end if they edit their message.
Oh.
I think you and I will have different opinions on this because I think you're much more emotive than I am.
Oh, no, I think actually my opinions will be exactly the same. I think that you should... Can I say mine and then you say yours?
Yeah, go for it.
I think she should marry this guy and stop caring that he's not emotive.
Yeah, we're on the same page.
Yeah. I think that's fine.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good that you're not both emotional. In fact, my wife is rather emotional, and I've had to get less emotional to balance that out. Because you can't both be off, like you have to be, you have to like sodium balances out chlorine on their own. They're both very volatile, but they're different kinds of volatile. But together they balance out. They make something that's stable. Is that true?
Yeah.
Chemists. Someone who has a PhD in chemistry.
You put too much sodium in the food supply, Americans get fat.
Get fat.
You put too much chlorine in the food supply, no more Americans. So I don't know how balanced they are.
Well, you put them together, you could put a bunch of sodium chloride.
Yeah. I think this is crazy because first of all, it's like there is signs of improvement. It's not like he's saying, no, I'm never going to share anything with you. Maybe it's just not his bend. So I think this is more on the 22-year-old, which makes sense because she's younger, that she just needs to learn that, like, and also when you're in college, it's like, I need to share my heart with somebody and That's just not how the real world works. This is like a very young person view of relationships.
Yeah. Not
that there can't be adult relationships where they're very emotive and communicative in that way. But like when it comes to you're married and it's day in and it's day out and you're changing diapers and going to work and making dinner and all of that, it's like, there's not a ton of time to say, I don't know what's going on in his heart. It's like you connect once a week, if you're lucky, on what's going on. And you have a pretty good read of where the other person's at. And maybe something's really bothering them and you can talk about it. But like, I'm not sharing my deep thoughts and emotions with my wife all day, every day, because she's dealing with the kids. Right. And so like, and she's stressed out, she's tired. So, it's like
caring about your own emotions when you have this little bundle that all of a sudden just goes off with emotions.
Right.
You stop caring about your own emotions.
I think you got to be satisfied with, and sometimes you don't want to share. Like sometimes I'm just like, I don't know. Like a lot of my thoughts and things about the world, Emma doesn't really care about. Not because she doesn't care about me, but she's just in a completely different world than I'm in.
Phoebe has no thoughts on tariffs.
Yeah.
Nor should she.
Yeah.
She doesn't need
sometimes the only thing that I do, it's like I get sad about like a K-State like football transfer. It's like, we lost this cornerback to the portal. I was really excited about him. And I'm like sad about that. And Emma's like, why are you sad? And I'm like, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't really matter.
It's not important.
It's stupid.
No, I think this is just normal. This actually sounds like the perfect couple, in my opinion.
Actually, yeah,
Wendell Berry, anti-tech engineer husband, young, emotional, very loving and adorable wife. Like this is exactly what you want, right?
That's people write movies about you too. The thing is, like, okay, she's upset that he's not sharing his emotions. I would say to you, why is your happiness contingent on him sharing things about himself? Ooh. Like, he doesn't want to do this. Why does he need to?
Wow.
Now, if it's the other thing, I don't know if that's what she's saying. But if she's like, I'm upset that I'm sharing myself and I feel like he doesn't emote with me. Again, it's like that is also you're placing, I need a reaction from him. I need him to be as upset about this as I am. It's not gonna happen. No. But or you're not feeling heard because he's not emoting. He's not going to emote naturally, so you have to figure out something else. You have to have a conversation about. Okay, when I say this, when I say an emotion that I'm feeling, I feel X, I feel this, and you do this, I feel heard. So maybe that's make eye contact with me and nod, or
burst into tears.
Repeat back what I say. Like, come up with an honest list of what you need from him. You need him to do when you tell him that you're feeling sad. And then think about, okay, is that reasonable? Like, I need him to burst into tears. I need him to, I need him to get mad with me. That's not, you can't expect that. People's emotions you can't demand people's emotions do a certain thing. Yeah. But you can ask, like, hey, if just for me to know that you're listening, I'd appreciate if you do X, Y, Z. And you might find, like, he's an engineer. So if you tell him the freaking formula, baby, he's going to follow it.
He's going to solve that dang formula. He's going to say X is equal to 445.
He's going to be like, okay, so if I do these things, if I, make eye contact, nod, and repeat back what she said to me, then she is going to feel heard.
She'll be happy.
And Phoebe and I had this exact conversation. She felt like I wasn't listening to her. I was just, doing things around the house or sometimes on my phone. Right. And so there's that too. But she's like, what she said, we found that when she's talking and she looks away and then looks back and I'm still looking at her, she feels heard. And I was like, that's such an easy thing. So now, like, when we're talking and she looks away and looks back, I make sure that I'm still exactly like that. Just like looking at her, but looking and nodding, because that makes sense, right? Because you look away, you look back. Oh, this person is still engaged. Because when you're talking, you look away, whatever. So, have a conversation like that.
If I may sum it up, it's called communication, baby. You just gotta communicate about what you want, and if the other person loves you, they will listen and they will do the line part. That's up for our first ever episode of Bropostles.
Congratulations!
How do you think it went? Did you have fun?
I think it was great. We switched the format up a couple of weeks ago to this.
We've been practicing,
and people really liked it. So I'm hoping this is good. If you have a question that you want advice on, it doesn't have to be dating related. Last week we had a bunch of job stuff. We had career stuff. Go to. We have to change the Discord link. Go to bropostles.com/Discord, and you'll have an invite link to join our Discord. Go to bropostles.com/join, and you can be a patron.
Patrick's just making up new pages on the website that I have to build live.
Oh, yeah. I'm saying that. It's bropostles.com. That's where you can support us. That's where you can go ask a question.
Yeah.
You got to have a hub,
I do have a hub, but the hub now has to have multiple more spokes than I had before because he said those on the podcast. So
that's all right. Just, if you want.
Just another 4 or 5 hours work. Not a big deal. Not a big deal for me.
It's 4 or 5 hours for you to have a forwarding link.
Maybe for maybe for you.
4 or 5 hours to do a forwarding link on the website.
4 to 5 hours. Well, yeah, for a sissy like you white collar, maybe you can do it in 2 hours before real. Maybe you get the job real done. It takes me 4 or 5. Got to fill up the truck before I get in there, and you don't know what a real day's work life I ever had ever before.
These kids these days don't know what real website development looks like.
They don't know what it's really like. That's patreon.com/Bropostles. For the bonus podcast, which we're about to record now. And I'm going to tell Patrick some secret jokes and some secret stories about my life that will be surprisingly revealing about my relationship with my spouse. So
there you go.
If you want to tune in. Oh, yes.
Unhinged comment of the week. I don't know who it's from, but if patrons of the Crunch leave because of the rebrand, is that considered bropostasy?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. If you leave Patreon because of our rebrand, you're dead to me.
Sorry.
Bye. See ya.
Better off dead, actually.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. It's been fun. Welcome to the new era. We're glad you're here with us.
Talk to you soon.